Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of Viva Barca, where we are going to discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Bernardo Silva as Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola. Talking about Bernardo Silva to Barcelona links, he said, "Don't want players who don't want to be here." We are going to be discussing on that in much detail as we move ahead. Secondly, talking about Sergio Dest as Barca are reportedly seeking offers worth 10 million euros for the out of favor young star. We are also going to be looking at that. So guys, as we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona's interest in Bernardo Silva has been known for a while now. The Catalans were pushing to sign the midfielder even last summer, but were forced to impede the operation owing to financial constraints. Ousmane Dembele's untimely exit has reignited rumors of the Manchester City star's arrival once again in the current window, with reports stating that Barcelona are willing to go all out for him. Pep Guardiola recently spoke about the Barcelona target and its importance in the current Manchester City setup. He labeled the Portuguese star as irreplaceable, as revealed by Fabrizio Romano. He said, "They are so important for us. We want them to stay here and we do everything." He did he said, talking about Silva and Kyle Walker, who is a target for Bayern Munich. "We will do everything. Replacing these two will be so difficult," Pep said. Specifically quizzed about Barcelona's interest in signing the creative midfielder, Pep Guardiola took a firm stance on his position with the player. He said, "I don't want any players who don't want to be here, but we need to get a proper offer. We didn't get a proper offer. If they want him, they will get on a plane and come to meet us. Let's sign." Earlier today, sources claimed that the Blaugranas were willing to table an offer worth 65 million plus 10 million in variables for Bernardo Silva. The deal is said to be a 3-year contract worth around 10 million to 11 million in wages. Bernardo Silva appeared to be out of reach, even the Barca's tight budget this summer. However, recent developments have given them sufficient inroads. Ousmane Dembele's departure will fetch Barca just over 25 million euros in fees, while Frank Kessier's exit is expected to add another 15 million euros in their coffers. The aforementioned 40 million, along with the activation of certain economic levers, is expected to help Barcelona get over the line. However, it remains to be seen if the club still have enough budget to sign a right back after incorporating Bernardo Silva. That is where the problem lies. Will Barca be able to sign João Cancelo, Javi's first choice right back, if they bring in Silva? Because we have been hearing a lot of reports since yesterday that the club have put some operations on hold just because they want to focus on Bernardo Silva. And to be honest, in my own opinion, I definitely want a right back first. Midfield should not be an urgent something, but instead, right back should. We don't need midfield at all. We've already bring Ilkay Gundogan. We have Pedro. We have Gavi. We have Frankie. We have Aurelio Romeo. And I don't think that it's urgent for us to add another midfielder. I'm not saying that I don't like Bernardo Silva to come, but let Barca focus on what is more important for now. If they can do it successfully, bring in the right back, then if there's something left in the budget or there's still space on the wage bill, then good and fine. They can go for Bernardo Silva. That's just common sense. We need the right back. We cannot rely on Sergio Dest. We cannot rely on Sergio Roberto, for crying out loud. We cannot. And Kunde, we can't do that because he has already made it clear he does not want to continue playing that position because he does not feel comfortable there. So there's still a lot of contradictions as to many reports, because many reports have still come out saying Bernardo Silva is a target now for Xavi, is what Xavi wants before any other thing. While some other reports say João Cancelo, the right back, is the top priority for now, because right back is highly needed, which I definitely believe so. We need a right back at this point. Of course, Pep Guardiola have always maintained that any player that does not want to be at his club, Man City, should leave. Pep is that kind of person that he wants a player playing with under him when he's having that, a player that has the mind to stay there, a player that is happy. Happy players play well. That's the truth. If a player is playing against his wishes, if a player is being forced to stay at a club where he doesn't want to stay, he will never bring that 100% productivity on the pitch. And Pep knows that better than anyone. That is why Pep have always insisted that players that don't want to be here, we don't need them. They have to go. And that's it. And he knows because Bernardo Silva himself have opened up that he really likes Barcelona. And it is no secret that Bernardo Silva wants to join Barcelona sooner rather than later. Bernardo Silva, we quite remember last summer he was pushing for that move, but because of Barcelona's poor financial, poor financial status, we couldn't get him, and the player was disappointed. And this season, Barca are still pushing so hard to see if they can bring Bernardo Silva, which will be very difficult. Then on to the next story of discussion. As Barcelona ramp up their efforts in getting rid of out-of-favor players, the Athletic is reporting that the Catalans are willing to listen to offers worth around 10 million euros for Sergio Des. The 22-year-old right back signed for Barca back in 2020, joining from AFC Ajax in a deal just worth north of 21 million euros. Des, though, endured a difficult time in his first two campaigns at Barca, following which he was loaned out to AC Milan for last season. The US men's national team international had a poor experience in Italy as well, as he hardly played for the Rossoneri and is now back in Catalonia ahead of the new season. Heading into Barca's pre-season tour of the US, it was suggested that Xavi would give Dest a chance to prove himself in the friendly matches. I don't want to give too much information about what we discussed, but at the end of the day, Xavi told me, okay, I'll give you a fair chance to prove yourself. So that's what it is at the moment. Sergio Dest said in an interview last month. He told me, I think you have qualities, but it's up to you. You have to show me. And I fully agree. I feel that with what happened last season with me, I have to start from afresh. I'm here to prove myself. As it happened, Des did receive minutes on the US tour, but was easily one of the team's worst players on the field. Given how things fared during preseason, coupled with the club's need to generate revenue, Des will now be allowed to leave this summer, with Barca seeking a sum of 10 million for his services. At the same time, though, the possibility of him being loaned out once again is not ruled out. Reports in Spain, however, suggest given the lack of suitors, Barca would also be prepared to take extreme measures to terminate Sergio Dest's contract. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.